Hello everyone, I hope you guys are doing well. If you have not yet subscribed, please subscribe. Meanwhile, I'm still introducing you guys to this video. So guys, this video is based on IRM 1501 module. So I'll be breaking down all the questions that are in the portfolio. So guys, I'll be breaking down the questions, explaining the questions to you. So I will not be providing you guys with answers. So do not ask questions that are going to like in some sort of a way need answers for this portfolio. So I'll just only be guiding you on maybe breaking down this question so that you guys may understand and be able to answer. Yeah? So guys, let's get to it. I believe that you guys are familiar with this one, this module is based on legal research. So this module will be helping you, like in future to do a legal research. Okay? So there is this word that is called paraphrase. Okay? You can even, like, I do believe that is there. Yeah, it is there on your instructions. Yeah? Paraphrase. Paraphrase, you can even Google it and then try to find examples in order to understand this word even better. Yeah. So paraphrase means that rewording of something written or spoken. It is more like taking something that is written or spoken and putting it into your own ways. For an example, I can give you one. He died in 1994. If I was to paraphrase that, I would say that in 1994 he died. So you can hear that the meaning or the idea is the same, but the way, like, those lines are not the same. They're put it in different way, or they've been said in different ways, but their idea or the meaning is the same. So it's more like taking something and putting it into your own words. So when you are doing a research, obviously you're going to obtain information from different sources. Yeah? So to whoever you obtain source from, or which source you obtain information from, you need to put that information into your own words in order to avoid plagiarism and to gain marks. You need to put that information into your own words and write it there. So it's going to show you that you made efforts, like you put an effort in writing or answering that, and then it is going to be avoiding you from doing plagiarism, because of, if you guys were no like if you guys do not I mean to say, if you guys do not paraphrase now, just imagine using one source, so which means that your assignment is not going to be different, or your research is not going to be different. It's going to be the same thing, you see. So like you might even end up copying each other's work. So to make it different, they are trying to use the word paraphrase. So which means that when you obtain a certain information, please try to write that information into your own words. But when you're referencing, use the reference from the origin one. Ne? By using the origin one does not mean that you did not paraphrase. It means that is your words, but your words originate from where? From that certain source. Yeah? So let's get to it. Question 1. Discuss plagiarism and use examples where necessary. So when you're discussing plagiarism, you can start by defining what is plagiarism, and then go to the forms of plagiarism, describe the forms of plagiarism, and also include examples of plagiarism. So on your study guides, I do believe it is on learning unit 6, on 6.3. It talks about plagiarism. So if you can go there, guys, is going to give you some light in order what is plagiarism, and then the forms of plagiarism, the use and what. So please don't forget to paraphrase the information that you get in order to avoid plagiarism. Ne? Question 2. So question 2 talks about summarizing a case. Ne? Okay, summarizing a case, guys. On this video, I will not be explaining or maybe stating how to summarize a case. Ne? I once explained. So what I will do is that under this video's description, I'm going to write those links down of how to summarize a case, how to insert a footnote using a laptop or a cell phone, and then the other one will be the references that are needed when you are when you are summarizing a case. So it's going to be that one of footnotes, and then it's going to be that one of bibliography, whereby they will be saying one book, one journal, one act of the parliament, and all those they will be there. So, but what I can say to you, because of this case is different from other case that you did or one that I once did, or I once done, I mean to say, you can check on SCL 1501 study guide. SCL 1501 study guide. There's a case of Exportee Aldenson 1948. So that case is more like to this one, but it's not the same. It's just more like Nyana. So you can use that study guide and then study the case of Exportee Aldenson 1994. So it will show you how to understand that case. Yeah? Because of it is too short. Most of you are saying that it is too short, and then you do not understand what is written there and what to do and what not to do. So if you use that study guide and start to and dwell much on Exportee Aldenson 1948, you'll be able to expand that case. You'll be able to know how to gather more facts, how to gather more points. So bear in mind that in that study guide, that case appear many times. So do not see one page and be like, okay, sharp, that means here I'm going to be doing this case, like I'm going to read this part, then I'm done. So you might find a certain page talking about the heading. So keep on going through pages that talk about Exportee Aldenson, because of there are so many parts being explained. There's a part where they explain the name of the case. There's a part where they explain the facts of the case. There's a part where they explain who's what, who's not. There's a part where they explain the judgment. There's a part where they explain. There's so many things that they explain there. So if you go through those things, you'll be able to interpret or to understand that case there that you should be summarizing. So the other thing that I can tell you is that you can even but this one, some of the videos that you will be finding under the description of this video will be from page 15 to 16 of your study guide, IRM study guide. That is how to summarize a case. And then the other thing is that a legal question is a statement of the question that court must answer in order to decide which party win. So which means that a legal question is always left for the judges to decide. A case may involve more than one issue, which means that a case might have more than one legal question. Sometimes you may be requested to write your own statement of issue, so which means that sometimes you might be required to write your own legal question based on that case. So which means that you should write something that is relevant to that case. You cannot just be like, you know what, I read a case somewhere, then you just know. You just have to write based on the case. The issue should be expressed in a form of a question that can be answered with yes or no. So the question should be able to be answered with a yes or no. Yeah. Ensure that your issue statements are written in the form of a question begin with, which is begin with whether, did, can, does, is, and even more. Yeah. So the legal question will always begin with whether, did, can, does, is. Yeah. So that's what I can say for this part. Yeah. So you'll get other links of how to summarize a case, and then how to insert footnotes and all the references relating to this thing of summarizing a case below the description of this video. Question 3. Find 3 sources dealing with transformative constitutionalism that are not mentioned in the study material, me to say. So here you have been required to find 3 sources, yeah, that are dealing with transformative constitutionalism, but that are not mentioned on the study guide. So which means that you should maybe use other sources, like you can use internet, you can use a book, but no, if you're using a book, please do not use IRM study guide. Yeah? So in order to answer 1, 2, and 3. So when you're writing an essay, some do have the different format. So my format, I normally say introduction and then say body. So which means that if I was to write this one, my body was going to be 1, 2, 3, and then I'll finish it with conclusion, into say. So the first point say that number 1, summarize, mean to say summarize the viewpoints of your source, of your chosen sources. Yeah. So which means that you are going to state your source and then state their points of views. That means 3 of them. So you're going to be like 1, then 2, and then state their points of views. And then number 2, it states that integrate the various viewpoints by pointing out similarities and differences. Yeah, differences. I cannot see well, but I see differences. Yeah? So which means that you are going to state out the viewpoints similarities. So there are similarities, and then also you should state their differences. So it's very easy for this one, guys. Evaluate the various viewpoints and based on the information in your study guide. So guys, in order for you to understand this one, you need to understand the word evaluate. So the word evaluate defined as to judge the value or worth of someone or something. So it is used to weight something. It might be the value, something like that. So you can even Google the word, understand it better, so you'll be able to answer this thing. So you should be able to value or to judge the worth or value of this viewpoint based on the information that is in the or on the study guides. Yeah. So for this question, you'll be using learning unit 5 from your study guide. Question 4. So question 4, guys, is more like question 2. So just that the questions are different. I mean to say the cases are different, but I do believe that the formation is still the same. SCL 1501 study guide. So go to the expertise Eldenson 1990-48 case. So in order to get more views, so go through every page that has expertise Eldenson 1990-48. So, and then also you can even check page 15 to page 16 for how to summarize a case. Also, you can even check the videos, and you can even check on your study guides, IRM 1501 page 15 to 16. That is how to summarize a case. Question 5. Find 3 sources dealing with social justice that are mentioned in that are that are not mentioned in the study material. Now write an essay in which you do the following. So guys, you can see that question 5 is more like with is more the same as question 3, just that the questions are different. So you are being required to find 3 sources dealing with social justice that are not in the study guide. So you can Google, guys, for question 5 and for question 3. You can Google in order to find answers very fast. Just that when you Google, do not forget to paraphrase, because if you forget to paraphrase, you're going to get 0, and then you're going to be they're going to penalize you for plagiarism and whatnot. So in order to avoid that, please paraphrase the information that you'll be getting from those sources and whatnot. So you can just Google it. And then the formation is still the same one, an essay. So I stated mine, introduction, body, which is going to include 1, 2, 3, and then conclusion. So it will depend on which one you like or which one you understand more. And then some people do have their own structure, so you can use your own structure that you feel like writing, using it. So number one, summarize the viewpoints of your chosen sources. So you just summarize those viewpoints, guys. Number one, source number 1, source number 2, source number 3. You just summarize their viewpoints of them, and then integrate the various viewpoints by pointing out similarities and differences. So guys, for this question, for both question 5 and question 3, in order to understand number 2, you need to understand these 2 words, similarities and difference. So if you understand these 2 words, you'll be able to understand what is similarities and what is the difference. Then you'll be able to answer based with the information that you obtained. Evaluate various viewpoints based on the information in your study guide. So in order for you guys to understand this number 3, you need to Google what is evaluate, or you can even use a dictionary. Evaluate. As I said, for me, I just define it as to judge the value of something or someone. To judge the value of someone. So which means that you should judge the value of the sources that are on the study guide with the sources that you have. So if you Google evaluate and understand the term evaluate, you will be able to answer number 3. So one other thing is that this one is a friendly advice, guys, is that For those who have obtained lower marks when it comes to their assignments, like, please do not panic. Do not have that. Do not write with that mind of I'm going to fail because of I obtained little marks when on my assignments. Then which means that you're going to fail. No, you're not going to fail. You're not going to fail. Just think. Just take this portfolio as a ticket, as a winning ticket that is going to make you pass this module. Like this portfolio, a portfolio is the easiest one. Seriously, a portfolio is the easiest one. Just like this portfolio is very easy. Yeah? So just write with a clean mind that I'm going to pass. This is a multi-million ticket that is going to make me pass this module. So write with like with that positive energy. I still remember when I was doing this module, my first assignment I obtained 80%. The reason was because of I was struggling with referencing. And then the second one was summarizing a case. Then I obtained 60%. It was because of I was still struggling with referencing. So I had this mind of, you know what, I'm going to fail this module because of I don't know what this module needs. Like seriously, it needs referencing and what, and I'm struggling with those referencing. But the time when I started to write the portfolio is where I started to understand everything, like referencing and everything just came to a point whereby I even obtained 95 on this module. So guys, please be patient with yourselves. And then one other thing, paraphrase your work in order to avoid plagiarism. Do not copy and paste. Do not copy and paste. Some of you lose marks because of copying and pasting. So do not copy and paste. Just paraphrase, and then you're going to obtain distinction on this module. All the best, guys.